Everyone, welcome to another episode of Ring Generals. I'm your host, Shotgun Tony Gunn, and today I have a very special guest, Mr. Kal Herro.
Hi, what's up, Tony?
Kal, what's going on, man?
It's good to see you.
Man, I've been waiting to get you down here and sit down for an interview.
I know.
How's it been going, man?
It's been awesome. It's been a blast, especially here in Louisville. Being a Wisconsin boy, growing up in the freezing cold, negative 30s, 40s. Yeah. Finally coming somewhere where it's actually warm has been awesome.
Yeah, just wait till it gets humid because it sucks here in the summer heat.
Oh, goodness.
Trust me.
It'll be a blast. As long as I'm tan, that's all that matters.
Well, that tan's looking good, man.
Well, thank you.
So let's get started here, Kal. Let's talk a little bit about your past, which you don't have that much of a past because literally you haven't been wrestling for a couple years?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background before wrestling. Were you an athlete in high school? Did you play any sports? What did Kal Herro do?
So for most of school, I was a gamer. I was a Dorito eating, Mountain Dew drinking kid. And then,
Cold Red?
Cold Red all day. And then it wasn't till 8th grade, and I decided to join track and field, and I threw shot put and discus. I was about $130, so I wasn't throwing anything crazy, but I was one of the first kids to hit the gym. So he's getting some definition now. We'll put him with that, and I'm glad because I hate running. So, and then my freshman year of high school, I played football, and I was on the JV team, and I was a left tackle once again at 150 pounds at that time. So it was a
challenge.
It was a challenge, but it was fun. It was a good time. I loved playing sports, and then I played until my sophomore year, and my freshman year I also did track and field as well, and then I just did football my sophomore year, and played football on the JV team, and then I did the varsity for the playoffs. They pulled me up to varsity.
Gotcha.
And that was cool. That was really cool. And then something happened where I decided to become a lunatic and join professional wrestling.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. When did you become a lunatic, and why did you want to get into the world of professional wrestling?
So, going into my junior year, I was actually with Al Snow's stepson, Evan. We're at my lake house, and we're just like, oh my gosh, we're going to college in a couple of years, and what are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to sit at the desk. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm just trying to figure it out. And started talking about wrestling. My dad, your dad, let's see what they think if we were to try to start. Because we were both. He was playing lacrosse. I was playing football. So we're already in that athletic rhythm. And then I asked my dad. I'm like, hey man, I want to try this. I want to become a professional wrestler. And he was blown away because I showed no interest for about, until when I was in middle school is when I stopped, because it was wrestling's fake, wrestling's not real, and I kind of distanced myself. And then I finally asked him. He was blown away, and he's like, yeah, let me know when you want to start.
That's awesome.
So, and the reason why I wanted to start was because I grew up in it. I was raised by professional wrestling. Growing up, my dad's been running, he's been involved in professional wrestling for about 26, 27 years now.
Right.
So he's been around for a long, long time. And I grew up
for the people that don't know, his dad is Dave Herro. So tell us a little bit about that. You said he's been promoting for 26 years, you said?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, okay.
So he used to have a store called Hero Sports Page. And it was all the Bucks, Packers, Brewers, all that stuff. And then he found out that he had a cousin, and my dad was a wrestling fan growing up. He's always been a wrestling fan. And he found out we had a cousin that was working with the WWF at the time that, they got into contact and whatnot. And then somehow, some way, something happened where my dad started getting their merchandise in his store. And that was before Walmart or Target or any of those places were getting WWF or WCW merch. So that started going on, and it was really Diamond Dallas Page that got my dad in with all those guys, because my dad was with WCW first with the merch, and then it was WWF, and he was getting merch from both at the same time. He was getting NWO, Austin 316. He was getting all of the top selling merch. So with that, they there was a trust. You know, they were cool with each other, and Dad started bringing talent in, and he created a lot of friendships. And he met Al Snow, he met Kevin Nash, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, Diamond Dallas Page, Road Warrior Animal. Like, it was just, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys I grew up with, and they were like uncles to me. So, and back to where I started training, I was like, you know what? This is where I'm most comfortable. I want to try this. And my dad's only thing he said to me was, if you want to stop in a week, a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, I will never be mad at you. He goes, try it. If you love it, stick with it. If you want to leave, I understand. And it snowballed, and now I'm here at OVW, which has just been life-changing.
Yeah, and that snowball's just getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah. These biceps.
Well, you got some years to go on that one right there, Cal. But so let's talk about your training. So, like, who were you trained by? Where did you train at initially before you came to OVW?
So I trained with Angel Armani up in South Milwaukee. And he trained with Austin Aries and Juice Robinson and Silas Young. Like, that's where those guys, initially started. So and I had known him my entire life too. I grew up with him, and so I started there. I think for about, maybe a year. I think a year I was with him, and I started in August of whatever my junior year, going into my junior year, and then after that, COVID hit and all that crazy stuff.
Right.
But yeah, and he's awesome. I learned a lot from him. A lot of the basic psychology, and one thing I'll never forget, because he always, touched on it, was always have your head up. No matter what you're doing, always have your head up. So he's one of the best teachers I've ever had.
Right, because this right here, that sells,
that's
right?
The money maker.
That's the money maker right there. Even though if you got an ugly face or not, that's still the money maker.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah. So with your training there and then coming to OVW, and you're still training here as well too, can you kind of talk about what's the difference in that, or how have you progressed as far as that goes with the psychology and the in-ring work and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the game changer for me here was being able to work TV, because that's a whole nother animal. I mean, you can learn how to bump, you can learn how to do moves and hit the ropes and all that stuff, but like learning how to work a camera in a bigger audience, like that's like I started at ground zero again, when it came to that. And I think also the intensity and the character work, that was game changing, because I was at the time just Kal Herro. I wasn't a fanny pack kid. I was kind of dipping my feet in the 80s thing, but I wasn't sure. And when I got here was when it really started to click.
Right.
And I was like, oh gosh, I could do this, I could do that. And obviously, working with you, I learned a ton. Yeah. I learned a lot. I mean, that was my first ever storyline.
That was a fun one at that, too.
That was a fun one. That was a blast. And that was, it's amazing how things can happen.
Right, yeah, just by ribbing somebody.
Yes.
So you were just Kal Herro before, and then you started to mold yourself into the fanny pack party, Kal Herro. So, like, why did you decide to go with that route with the 80s theme and doing this 80 type persona and all that? So, I know we had our story where I'm like, why are you even doing this? You weren't even around in the 80s, so you don't even know what it's about.
No, 2002, baby.
Yeah, but I know retro's coming back and everything comes full swing. But just talk a little bit about that. Why did you decide to pick the character and the gimmick that you did?
So it was mainly because I'm a huge fan of 80s music. Like George Michael and Wham is my absolute favorite. I come out to Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, because I think that's the greatest theme song you can have, because it's just... And at the same time, why I picked the 80s thing was because nowadays everyone has to be cool, They have to be serious. They wear, and there's nothing wrong with wearing all black, but like, because I'm wearing black now, but...
And I'm wearing black.
Yeah, but like, it was like there was no personality.
Yeah,
like,
everyone wants to be a badass.
Yes,
yeah.
Everybody wants to be Stone Cold, but we've already had, that, and I felt that... Me being at the time, 16-year-old kid, no one's going to believe me to be some sort of badass, I mean, I'm a junior in high school. I'm not going to beat up guys that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. That's just not going to happen. So I thought, instead of shooting for that and being the badass, why don't I do something that's for the kids? Because once again, I'm a kid,
Right.
you know? And so I started off with the my first ever set of gear, which was the blue and yellow. And I did the split in half, and I did it because in Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, the music video, George Michael wears these split shorts, and they're blue and white. But Andrew Ridgely was such a big part of that he had the yellow shorts on. So I did the blue and yellow with the split and singlet.
Yeah, I remember that.
And started rocking that, and then I came out with like the visor. I just got the mullet, I think my senior year, and then I started coming out with the fanny pack. I'm like, that's 80s, you know, come on. And I'd just walk out with it to the ring. And then there was one show where I actually started treating it like it was head, and I'd raise it up and they'd go crazy, and then I'd raise it up and they'd go crazy. And that was like when I actually started like feel like, oh, people are really getting behind me here. And match happens, whatever. I'm at the merch table afterwards, and some little kid comes up with his mom and his dad and goes, hey, look, it's that fanny pack kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Because now that's how the fanny pack kid was created.
And that's how it was born.
Yeah.
It's crazy how things like that just come about, you know, without planning out, just things like that just happen, right?
It's so cool, because those are the moments where it's like, this is why we do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and it's for moments like that, and who knows where it'll lead to, you know? So with your career so far with OVW, you've been here, how long have you been with OVW?
A year and a half now.
A year and a half now. So with that, I want to ask the question, who's the toughest person that you've been in the ring with? Now, I'm not talking about toughest as far as like hard to work with or anything like that. Toughest as far as like a competitor, a challenge inside the ring.
I mean, you are obviously you're at the top, because I'm not just saying it because you're here. Like legit, like you
better
made,
say that. No,
you made me step up my game.
Yeah.
You know, but other than that, I'd say while Dustin and I were teaming together, the Dark Clouds. You know, they're a solid tag team, you know, and Dustin and I mean, I was never in a tag team before Dustin. You know, I had, you know, a tag team back in Wisconsin, but I think we had like 3 matches, and it was with Jordan Cross. And but like being like a weekly tag team and really like trying to tell the story of us coming together, like that was, once again, a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So seeing them and watching those guys just be so smooth and tagging and all that, and I was like, gosh, like, Dustin, we gotta step up our game. Yeah. And I'd say you three really like are some of the, because you all had to help me try to lift myself and get to y'all's level. So that's the truth.
Right. Well, I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I do what I can.
Hopefully I get a free t-shirt.
Well, maybe I'll get one too. We'll do it. We'll trade later.
There we go.
So I know your journey in wrestling. You're still young. You're what?
19.
19 years old, man.
Almost 20.
Almost 20, man. Back when I was 19, that was I can't remember. So you've been in the world of wrestling for a couple of years now. With your time in wrestling, have you come across any struggles or any challenges or anything like that you're struggling with?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was all new for me. You know, I mean, not just when I first started wrestling, because that was obviously new, but at the same time I grew up with it, so I was comfortable. But like coming here to OVW, like I got out of my comfort zone. Like back when I was in Wisconsin, I wouldn't drive to Milwaukee. That's a 20-minute drive. You know, like it was far from me.
You're right.
So now, like having to drive 4 hours to a show or 6 hours to a show or whatnot, like that was scary at first, you know. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can do this. And then another thing was just, you know, I literally graduated high school and came here. And I was living, you know, under my dad's roof. And you know, he is my guardian angel, because I will call him whenever there's a problem. But like, all the responsibility then hit as soon as I came here. Like, I have to be here. I have to be on top of my game, continue to make good choices, like all that stuff. I'm like, okay, just straight path here, you know? And I think that was probably the hardest part. is just like realizing what I'm in now and the responsibility that it carries.
Yeah. And when you're young, like 19, and you first get into this world, like you can be overconsumed by it and get lost in, you know, the fun lifestyle of it and all that, and kind of lose yourself. But like if you want to stay centered and stay focused, that's what you got to do. And it sounds like you got your head on straight. So a lot of people don't. So you're one step ahead of the game, and I'm sure you can think of a few that aren't like that, but that will rename nameless. So we're going to switch gears just a little bit, Cal, and we're going to play a little game. All right. So when you think of professional wrestling, okay, we're going to think of the icons of wrestling and icons of other sports and stuff like that. So when you think of like the icon of professional wrestling that everybody would know, yourself, all wrestlers, even non-wrestling fans, who do you think that icon is that everybody knows?
Now it's The Rock.
The Rock?
I think The Rock now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple of years ago, Hulk Hogan, but The Rock is just he's all over the world now.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, most definitely. I think everyone in the world knows who The Rock is, and even if they're not wrestling fans, they know The Rock. Mm-hmm. So let's take that challenge and let's move that over to basketball. All right, so who is, and we're going to play this together.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're going to say the person's name and see if we can come with the same person
I'm an
or
old
not.
soul, so I think we'll be on the same page.
So, all right, so who is basketball, NBA? Who is The Rock of NBA basketball? All right, you ready? You got yours?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Michael Jordan.
Ah,
there we go.
Yeah, like that.
I'm not putting LeBron in that
no,
spot.
Thank God. All right, good. You're smart. All right, so let's move on over to baseball.
Oh goodness.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Baseball.
MLB baseball.
MLB.
So who is? I'll give you a second to think. Who is The Rock of baseball?
Okay, I think this is the right name. I could be wrong. I'm saying it because it would be The Rock because I'm not a baseball fan.
Yeah.
And I know the name.
Everybody knows, even if they're not baseball fans.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I was thinking newer, but okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
All right, ready?
Wait a minute.
You need to think about it?
Think about it again. Okay.
All right, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Jose Canseco. What'd you say?
Jackie Robinson.
Okay. I can see Jackie.
All right.
You know who's Jose Canseco?
Nope.
All right, let's move on. Let's see. Let's move on over to, what's another sport? Football.
Okay.
All right, The Rock of football. That's the NFL. All right. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there
is a lot. All right. You got it?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Brett
Joe
Favre.
Montana.
I said Brett Favre.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know?
I don't know. We'll let the audience kind of pick on that.
We'll see what they think.
Yeah, Brett Favre or Joe Montana.
Because go Pack go.
Oh, 49ers, man, all the way through. All right, last one.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
What other sports are there?
I know, right? Who is The Rock of hockey?
I got you.
Hockey. And I don't know much about hockey.
I don't know either. I don't know anything.
We'll probably have the same one.
I got my answer.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Joe Mack.
Joe Mack?
Joe Mack.
Who's Joe Mack?
Joe Mack.
Oh, Wayne Gretzky.
Canadian, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hockey, Joe Mack.
All right, last one.
All right.
The Rock of volleyball.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Tony Gunn.
I have no clue.
Tony Gunn. Didn't you play volleyball in high school?
Yeah, but I'm no pro at it. Well, that was fun. We got one right.
Yeah.
Goodness. Oh, but anyways.
That's a tough question.
It is tough.
You
a lot of tough.
I think it sounds easy, but that was tough.
Yeah.
You lost me at baseball, so that was early on. So.
All right. Well, let's just move on to you then. As far as let's think of, we all have a Mount Rushmore of wrestling. All right. So if you could pick 4 people, your Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Okay.
Who could you pick? Who would you pick?
I'd say Rock, Hogan, Andre, and then gosh, this is tough. Flair.
Okay, those are all good ones. So why would you pick each one? So why Hogan? Why Rock?
I think each for their time, they were that next big thing. You know, like Andre, he was just amazing. Like nobody had seen anything like him before. He changed the popularity of the business because he was a must-see attraction. You know, like people had to see him. And then you go to Hogan, and it's like Hogan he's the one who defeated the monster. You know, he was the one that defeated, you know, Andre the Giant, and nobody thought that was possible. And he was the all-American babyface, and people, especially that time period, like that's what it was. And then Rock, I mean, and it's also, you know, you can see, it's cool seeing the stories being passed down by the WrestleMania matches. The Rock, he wasn't just, you know, he had that electricity and all that, but like he was the first guy. I mean, obviously Andre went into movies and, you know, all that, and so did Hogan. But Rock, he changed the game, you know? Like he went from being the biggest star in the world in professional wrestling to being the biggest star in the world.
Right.
When it came to, you know, just everything.
Right.
I mean, he's accomplished so much. So, and that was cool. And then Flair for his time, like he just had that. He was the first one that like people will remember that brought the swag. You know, brought the, you know, the suits, the flair. No
Right.
pun intended.
No pun intended,
but like it was that rock star lifestyle that he kind of brought too. You know, like it was a whole. Each one of them just they brought pieces that changed the business, and I think it's so cool because one person can completely change the business.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a pretty good Mount Rushmore.
What's yours?
Man, I'm kind of in the same ballpark. Like I would have Hulk Hogan, I would have The Rock, I would have Flair, and then I would have Stone Cold.
See, I was
those
struggling.
are my four.
Yeah, I was struggling with Stone
Yeah.
Cold because it was between him and Rock.
Yeah.
I needed Andre in there, but yeah, Stone Cold was awesome.
Yeah,
So cool.
Those are my four, and those will always be my four.
Yeah.
So so with your career so far with wrestling, Cal, like who would be a dream match for you?
Oh gosh.
Like for someone that you would like to share the ring with?
Oof. One of them right now would be Sefa Fatu. Gosh.
And why is that?
When I first started training, you know, him being Rikishi's son, like my dad and Rikishi are good friends, and like we kind of like he started a little before me, but like we kind of were in the same boat. We were the kids. So, and I finally had to have a match with him right before he went up to NXT, and it was just cool, you know, especially like my dad and his dad. It's like that second generation, and we get to work together now. So that's something I would love. Gosh, I mean, there's so many people out there right now. There's a lot of people that are gone that I wish I could work with.
Yeah.
I'd love to work again with Al. You know, that would be sweet. But I'd say like someone like Roman Reigns, just like, 'cause watching now him, you know, escalate and just become the star he is, like I feel like I could learn so much, especially from him.
Yeah.
So.
And he's a person that really turned it around, you know, big time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Game changer. So other than that, I mean, so many people, but like those are my two right now. 'Cause it's just like that's for first it's like that's my guy. And the second one is like that's to elevate. Yeah. You know, you'll learn.
Yeah.
So
as far as like with your time with OVW, what's one of your most standout moments that you've had?
Getting my job back. That was a standout moment.
You talking about when I got you?
Yeah, when you made me lose my job. You know, when I worked concessions for a couple weeks.
Man,
that's in the past.
You couldn't take the hint.
No. Other than that, though, I'd say winning the tag titles.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment because that was the first ever like title that I had ever won.
Yeah.
So like actually holding that and the history behind that title, you know, it was a cool moment, especially being able to share it with Dustin.
Yeah.
You know, because we spent, gosh, every day together for the last year, you know.
Yeah, how was that?
Awesome. you learn a lot. You learn a lot, trust me. But no, he's great.
Yeah.
He kept me motivated, kept me in the gym. He took care of me in the ring when I was having, you know, shoulder problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, he's the best.
Yeah. It's good to have that partner in crime, you know, to have your back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so to speak. And I'm sure you had his as well on the flip side.
I've had his.
So what do we expect to see from Kal Herro down the road? Whether it's OVW related or not OVW related?
You're going to see me back in action.
Okay.
That's what they're going to see.
Yeah, because I know you've been out because, you know, what happened? Let's talk about that.
I just had shoulder surgery 4 months ago, and I tore my labrum in 2 spots. They went in, they put 5 anchors in. Now it's nice and tight, and I'm getting mobility back.
Nice.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's just making sure it's secure before I get back in the ring.
Right.
Because I do not want to do this again.
Right. It sucks.
It happened numerous times. My shoulder just kept dislocating, and I tore it when I was 16 and first started training. And after that, you know, it popped out, you know, maybe once or twice in a year. And then the year after that, it was a little rough. We were up to, you know, 4 or 5. And then this last year at OVW, just because it was so worn out and loose, like I think it was like 7, 8 times it popped out in the ring.
Right.
Thank goodness it was in the ring because that adrenaline rush got me through everything.
Right.
But yeah, it was not fun. But I hope to be back this summer. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You know, I want to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
I want the people to be
Yeah.
on the edge of their seats.
So you're not going to say when you're going to return?
So let's just July. July. That's when I'll be back.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what's the scars look like?
Oh, they're terrible, man.
Let's see
They're
it.
really bad. You know, I got
Let's
1,
let
2,
the people
3.
see that.
You know, nice little scars. Not bad.
Is it all on the front side?
They got one in the back,
Yeah.
but that one's tiny. That's where they put the camera. So
Yeah.
I got 3 little scars. You know, nothing. Hoping for something cool.
Yeah,
But
I had the same done to mine back in 2016.
Oh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
not fun. Which mine's a little different. I have scar
dang.
here,
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
one back
they went
there.
up through the top there.
Yeah, so they had to snip part of my bicep tendon, but
That's not fun.
anyways, yeah.
Goodness.
So enough about that and sizing up her arms on the camera.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, scars, man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That arm's a little behind on that one. You need to catch that one back
That's why
up.
it's on this side.
So I got a couple more questions for you, Cal, and we'll kind of wrap things up and get you out of here because I know you got to go hit the gym because you got to gain that size back.
It's leg day, brother.
Yeah. So if you could tell the people, and we'll look at this camera here. If you could tell the people one thing, if they're wanting to follow their dream, whether it's to get into professional wrestling or whatever they're looking to do, what would you say to that person looking to follow their dream?
Quit listening to everyone else, and it's okay to put your eggs in one basket. It's gonna be fine, you know. If you mess up, oh well. You know, it's better to have oh wells than what ifs. And you know, it might end up changing your life. It might make you a better person. It might not end up well, but you'll learn from it. And that's all that matters. As long as it's a learning experience, but just everyone says chase your dreams, but legit chase your dreams because we only got one life and it's better to not waste it on all the what ifs, you know? So.
Awesome words, Cal.
Thank you.
Yeah. And last thing but not least, let's give yourself a cheap plug. How can they follow you or find you on social media? I know you're all about that.
I was waiting for this one.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at the Kal Herro, and you can actually go to the fannypackkid.com. I got fanny packs, t-shirts, 8x10s. I'm pretty sure we got bracelets, keychains. We got more fanny packs because we're all about fanny packing. So make sure to go check me out there and find me pretty soon. Just wait, it's coming. Every week on Fight TV, Ohio Valley Wrestling, here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome.
That was good, right?
That took a lot of time, but that's great, Cal.
Thanks.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's show on Ring Generals. Don't forget to check them out on social media and give them a subscribe on YouTube. Cal? It was awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it was fun
See
having
you around.
you.
Maybe,
Yes, sir.
maybe we hit leg day or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'll show you what to do.
You won't wear tights anymore. You know. Awesome,
All right, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. See you, Cal.